If you're single or in a relationship right now, I have the best relationship advice nobody asked for. But honestly, on a real note, these advices or tips that I have conjured up are tips that I have seen on social media or through people that I've spoken to. And hopefully, these tips will help you in your single or relationship journey or dating journey. If you need a little bit of advice and you're looking for someone to feel a little bit of comfort or maybe a little bit of a reality check, welcome to King of Hearts. And let's get right into today's episode.
If you love me, let me fly away. Maybe I'll come back to you. Maybe I won't.
So these 10 relationship advices have changed the way that I view dating, and I hope they will help you in your dating ventures. So let's go right into number one. Number one is what you are not changing, you are choosing. And for example, I have friends, and this is where this quote comes in really handy. When you're in a relationship where you're not completely satisfied, or maybe you're in a relationship right now where you feel like you kind of want to break up with them, or maybe you're single and you don't want to be single anymore, what you are not changing, you are choosing. You have to remember you are the creator of your own reality. And if you want to change your current situation, you're not going to change it if you keep doing the same thing that you are currently doing. So, for example, if you are single and you want to be in a relationship now, but you cannot be bothered to go on the dating apps, or you can't be bothered to go out, leave the house, do anything where you see people or socially interact with people, you are choosing that because you are not changing it. So if you actually want to meet someone, you have to take action, which means changing your current situation. So yeah, I would say get on the dating apps, or if you're not into dating apps, which is absolutely fine, I recommend that you go out more with your friends to bars, to restaurants, to do more things that maybe take you out of your comfort zones, trying something new. Because it seems that the thing that you're doing every day is not leading you to a relationship. So maybe trying something different will help in your venture to finding your dream relationship or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. If you're in a relationship, what you are not changing, you are choosing. What I mean by that is if you are unsatisfied in a relationship, but you're staying out of pure laziness, or you're staying because you are too scared to leave, you are choosing to stay in a place that is dissatisfactory, the place that is not really giving you life, that is not making you feel alive, that is not making you feel motivated. You are choosing that. So if you keep complaining about something that is in your life, or someone that is in your life, or the relationship that you're in, you have to remind yourself that you are there because you've decided every day to stay in that relationship. Now, if you want to get out of that, and yes, it's uncomfortable, and yes, it's scary, but you will feel so much better by changing the situation that you're with. If that means leaving a relationship that no longer satisfies you, yes, it's going to be really hard, but in the long term, you are going to be so much better off. If you don't exit this relationship now, you're not going to know what the most beautiful relationship is actually going to look like, because you've decided to choose to stay in this mediocre relationship that you're in. So those are two scenarios with which this tip is useful, and it's definitely something that I have resonated with. What you don't change, you choose. I've been in relationships in the past, particularly one where maybe more than one actually, where I have stayed a little bit too long in a relationship because I was comfortable, and also I felt guilty of breaking up, especially being a woman. You feel like a lot more guilt for ending things because you feel like you should be fixing that relationship and making it work, because you need to make a relationship work in order for it to be good. But actually, no, that's not true. If it doesn't feel right, you need to listen to yourself. If you don't listen to yourself and you neglect how you feel, that's not good, and it's not going to end in anything very positive, that's for sure. And I had to listen to myself. And yes, it was so uncomfortable to end that relationship, but I'm so glad I didn't. I almost wish I had ended it sooner. Like, I a million times wish I'd ended it sooner. But, everything happens for a reason. And I had to learn my lessons from that. Tip number 2, stop losing your mind over someone who doesn't mind losing you. What I mean by that is stop losing your mind over that emotionally unavailable man who couldn't care less if you left tomorrow, who couldn't care less if you stopped replying to him. And even with friendships, if that friend also couldn't care less to message you, because if you stop messaging her or him, you're probably not going to get a message from them. That is not good. So stop losing your mind over those people, because, it might make you go crazy, because maybe there's some part of you that is very anxiously attached to someone that is very avoidant, but you don't deserve that kind of love in your life, whether that's friendship or situationship or a crush. The reason why a crush is called a crush is because they end up crushing your heart in the end. I didn't even know this, but I heard about this recently, but that's apparently why a crush is called a crush. Because a crush is someone that you get your heart crushed by, because ultimately they don't like you back. So stop losing your mind over a person that doesn't mind losing you. You are so worthy of love, and you are so worthy of someone that will see value in you. And if you're constantly going on in your mind about, has he messaged me? Why hasn't he messaged me back? Oh my God, he's left me undelivered for 3 days. Oh my God, he's done this. Oh my God, he's done that. Oh my God, not even he's done this, he's done this. The lack of he has not done this and he has not done that. And you losing your mind over that, not only are you wasting your own precious time and your precious life on this earth, but this person does not deserve space in your life. Full stop. So if this was your sign to stop giving your energy to someone who couldn't honestly care less about you and what you're doing and your life, stop. Just end it. It's not worth your time. Another one for our people pleasers out there. If you're a people pleaser, you know what I mean, because I'm also and have been a massive people pleaser in the past. Don't set yourself on fire just to keep others warm. What I mean by that, and I'm sure you know what I mean by that, don't give so much of yourself to someone else. Don't bleed out yourself for someone else. Even in friendships, trying to people please. Oh, okay, let me do this for this person. Let me do that for that person. Let me go out of my way, even though it's affecting me and it's going to hurt me eventually in the long term. By going so much and doing so much for someone else, you end up hurting yourself just to satisfy them. You have to be a little bit more selfish with your time. And if this is you and you're a people pleaser, you need to stop being a people pleaser, because at the end of the day, yeah, that person's maybe going to be a little bit disappointed that you haven't gone out of your way to do everything and bend over backwards for them. But they don't, maybe even if they do deserve that, they can look after themselves. And I really do believe that you shouldn't have to bend over backwards for someone. And also you're actually disrespecting yourself, and you're neglecting yourself by neglecting your own needs in order to satisfy someone else. I'm such a people pleaser, and I have been a people pleaser for so many years. But for example, and this is how I've kind of learned from stopping to be a people pleaser, is this year I have said no a lot more. And it's felt uncomfortable at the beginning, but now I've gotten really comfortable with saying no and to saying yes to myself more, that my life feels so much more fulfilling now. For example, with dating, I have had opportunities where I could have gone on dates with guys or want a specific person in mind, and I would have had to, move some things around for them, but they weren't willing to move their schedule around for me. And previously in the past, I would have been like, okay, we'll do whatever's right for your schedule, whatever works for you, instead of listening to my own schedule and being, accommodating to my own schedule. I would have just moved around my plans to make it fit with their plans. Now I'm like, well, it doesn't work for me, so I'm sorry, but it's just not going to work. And if they're not willing to compromise me, especially a man needs to do the work. Like, why the hell should I be doing the work for him? No, a man needs to be doing work, okay? Not you, honey, okay? So I've stopped saying yes and I've started saying more no. Like, no, that doesn't work for me actually. So no, thank you. You know what happens? They end up compromising for you because they're like, okay, this girl has like boundaries and I have to respect those boundaries. So do not light yourself on fire to keep others warm. Next one. Okay, this is for my people who may have been in a relationship where they weren't extremely satisfied. Again, going back to another point, but no reason to stay is a good reason to go. No reason to stay in that relationship is a good enough reason to leave that relationship. And sometimes you can feel super guilty because a relationship is quote unquote perfect and you end up staying in something just out of comfort, even though you know that it doesn't feel right deep inside, but you don't really have any reasons to actually leave that relationship. But you do, okay? Because even if you don't have a reason to leave a perfectly fine relationship, if it doesn't feel right to you, you have to trust that and you have to trust your gut and leave that relationship because they don't need to have cheated on you for you to leave. Like, you don't need an excuse to leave a relationship. And also, you don't have to be the person cheating and making that excuse to leave that relationship. Like, first of all, you're wasting your own time, but also you're wasting their time. And it's not fair on them because they could then find someone who is so much better suited to them. So if you've ever been in that situation before, I hope you've learned that lesson. And if you are in currently something where, even if it's a situationship where you feel like, this is fine, but like, I don't really have any reason to end it, but I'm not like the happiest, to be honest, like, then it's time to leave. Because you should only ever be in something with someone or have a relationship with someone, whether that's platonic, whether that's casual, or whether that's an actual relationship. If they add value to your life, or if they make you feel alive, or if they bring you so much joy and so much happiness and fulfillment, if you don't feel that in a relationship with someone, you don't need like a massive reason to leave. Like, sometimes it just doesn't feel right. And that's okay. You're just two different people. And it's not a failure. It's just, didn't work out with this one, but maybe it will work out with the next one. But you won't find out if it works out with the next one if you don't leave this current thing that you're in right now. That can go for anything. It can go with friendships too. No reason to stay is a good reason to go. We're just going to take a pause there and we'll be back after this break. It's better to admit that you walked through the wrong door than living the rest of your life in the wrong room. So basically what that means is, if you have been in the wrong relationship, it's better to accept that, yeah, it didn't work out and leave that relationship and leave that door rather than staying unsatisfied in something that you just don't want to be in. But unfortunately, nowadays, this happens way more often than not, where people stay in relationships out of comfort. People stay in situationships because they feel like they don't deserve any better. And that has a lot to do with the way that you value yourself and the self-worth that you have. Because if you really love yourself and respect yourself, you wouldn't stay in something that doesn't make you happy. So it's better to accept defeat and accept quote unquote failure. It's never a failure. It's just an experience and it's just a lesson. So nothing in life is ever a failure. It's just a lesson. It's just the way that you view it. Some people talk to you in their free time, and some people free their time to talk to you. This is such an important lesson to learn because you want to be surrounded by people that free their time to talk to you. You don't want to be with someone or friends with someone who will only make time for you when it's convenient for them. Because what happens when you break a leg, or what happens when you fall over and injure yourself, or what happens when you go through something really difficult? And that person is going to be like, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm really busy today, but I'll call you when I have a free moment. That doesn't feel nice. And that doesn't make you feel special, and it doesn't make you feel valued in a relationship. And relationships are there in order to add value and to make you feel special and to make you feel like you are important. And it doesn't make you feel very important when the person that you are with does not view you important enough to move things around so that they can make the time to talk to you if you're going through something difficult. I've had friends, and I wouldn't even call them friends, and relationships where I would be going through something and be surprised by the lack of effort from the other side to make the time for me, to make the time for me, to make the time to help me and to support me and be there for me. And the people that really actually are such a big part of my life, which, for example, is my mum or my dad, are the people that if I said to them, I really need you, they would drop everything for me. These are the kind of people that you want to be having in your life. And that's the same with friends. The friends that you can call and be like, listen, I'm like not feeling well. And they're like, okay, I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing and I'm going to be there for you. Obviously, don't take the piss with it. Like if you're having to drop, also for yourself, if you're having to drop everything for a friend who constantly needs you, that can be a bit toxic and very codependent. But I'm saying you want to be surrounded by even a relationship. You want to be in a relationship with someone that will prioritize you, that will make the time for you instead of you just fitting into their tiny 2-hour slot on a Wednesday evening because that's the only time they have for you because they have other priorities in their life and you're not one of them, to be really honest. So if there is someone in your life that is kind of like that, where they will only make the time for you when it's convenient for them, I suggest that you question and reconsider your friendship or your relationship with that person. Because if that person really loves you and cares about you and really has your best interests at heart, they will drop everything for you and they will make time for you and they will move things around in their life in order to make time for you and to prioritize you. Okay, this one really got to me. A crush is just a lack of information. When you have a crush on someone, do you really know them? Have you just spent maybe 5 minutes of your time talking to them, but the rest of the time you've been idealizing them in your head, which is most likely a fantasy, and that actually that version of them doesn't even exist? Yeah, that's a crush. And as I said, a crush is called a crush because a crush usually ends up crushing your heart. Yeah, a crush is literally just a lack of information. Like crushes that I've had in my life are usually a crush that I've had at school of a boy in the year above that I probably spoke 2 words to in my entire life and would make up stories in my head before I went to sleep, little fantasies of us having a family and children together. But really, they just existed in the realms of my mind and my dream world. But actually, the reality of it is I knew nothing about this person. I didn't even know their surname. So a crush, before you over fantasize and over analyze and go absolutely crazy and haywire over this person that you don't really know, just remember that maybe if you got to know them a little bit more, maybe you won't even be that attracted to them. And maybe the reason why you have a crush on them is because of the mystery of that person. So maybe stop fantasizing over this person that you don't even know, that you don't even have any knowledge or information on, or you don't even know them. You don't even know if they're funny. You don't even know if they like are nice. And trust me, 90% of the time, if you try and get to know that person actually for real and actually have a conversation with them, you'll be quite underwhelmed. So stop losing your precious brain capacity and your precious time thinking about someone and fantasizing about someone that doesn't actually exist. Because you don't really actually know them and you've probably only spoken like 2 sentences to them in your life. It's either going to be a good time or a good story. And You know what I mean. A good story means a failure or a fucked up night out with your friends, which you completely regret in the morning, or a failed relationship, or the worst date that you've ever been on in your entire life. All of those shitty situations that have happened to you are not failures. They're going to be such a good story that you're going to tell all your friends on the group chat, that you're going to tell your kids one day, that you're going to just laugh about in like 5 years' time. You're not even going to think about it. So the moral of the story is, it's really not that big of a deal. And just like, even if it is a big of a deal and that was like really heartbroken or whatever, and you're really heartbroken or you're really hurt by a situation, it's going to be a story one day. And it's going to be not only a story, but it's going to be such a big lesson that you've learned. Yeah, it's either going to be a good time or a good story. So embrace all of it. Embrace the shitty date that you just went on. Embrace that toxic situationship that you were just in. Because honestly, I do it for the group chat. I do it for the girls' group chat. I do it for the time that I see my friends and I'm like, oh my God, you will never guess what horrible story just happened to me. Because at the end of the day, it's funny. Like, it's a good story. And so don't deep it too much. Don't look into it too much. Embrace the pain, obviously. Embrace whatever you're going through right now that's really shitty. But like, kind of look at it with a glass half full of like, okay, one day this is going to help me in the long term. One day I'm going to tell this to my kids. One day I'm going to tell this to my friends. Or, oh my God, I can't wait to tell my best friend about this shitty situation that just happened to me. So yeah, it's either a good time or a good story. And last one. Oh God, we're full of lessons today. I've been learning a lot of lessons this year in my healing journey. Let me tell you. So if you're going through a healing journey right now, we're in this together. Once is a mistake, twice is a choice. If someone has screwed you over like big time, or if someone has cheated on you, or if someone, I mean, cheating, I don't really excuse, but if someone has done you wrong in a relationship, everyone makes mistakes. And I think you have to realize that we are only human and we're not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. Everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. That's fine. Okay. People make mistakes. People fuck up. Once there's a mistake. Okay. And I do think that people deserve forgiveness. And I don't think you should just shun someone off because they fucked up once. I really don't. I do think that people can learn from the mistakes and change. However, if they are repeating the same mistake and fucking up again, that is your choice now. You have now decided to stay with this person because ultimately they've shown you that they've done it again, which means they're going to do it again and again and again and again, which means that you are now choosing to stay in this, even though it's harming you and even though it's hurting you. So you are actually neglecting yourself, and it is the choice that you are making to disrespect yourself by constantly being disappointed by someone's actions or by someone's words. Are you choosing again to forgive this person for fucking up yet again? Or are you now choosing to say, no, actually, I don't accept this. Actually, I don't forgive you for what you did because this is the second time you've done it, or this is the third time you've done it. And now this is no. The first time, fine, you made a mistake. That's okay. We all make mistakes, but you've consciously gone and done it again, knowing that that was going to hurt me. No, I'm really sorry. Thank you. You don't even have to get mad about it. Thank you so much for your time. But this now stops here. And I'm going to be moving on with my life and you're not going to be a part of it. And when you stand in that power, it's so empowering to say no and to stand your ground and to have boundaries. So once is a mistake and twice is a choice. I hope these lessons, I know that they can be a little bit harsh, but sometimes the truth hurts and sometimes the truth it's not easy to listen to. But I hope that whatever you needed to hear today and the reason that you're listening to this right now is all happening for a reason, and you needed to hear these tips and advice in terms of relationship advice and or friendship advice, because maybe it's time to cut some ties, or maybe it's time to forgive that person if they made a mistake the first time and realize that no one's perfect. But yeah, life is all about lessons and learning and growing and also being mature enough to learn lessons and being mature enough to realize that you're going to grow so much from everything that you're going through. And relationships are not easy, especially the relationship that you have with yourself. I've definitely learned that in the last year. I've learned so much in the last year of being single, and like, I feel like I've grown. Like me last year, I was in a relationship, guys. I was in a relationship and I was not happy. I am now probably the happiest I've been in a really long time. And a lot of these quotes and advices that I'm giving you now are things that have really helped me in my healing journey and in my, like, I guess, journey of expansion and journey of bringing more abundance into my life. And yeah, it's scary. It's fucking scary. And I feel really overwhelmed, and you're probably feeling really overwhelmed too by all of this growth that you're doing. But it's going to be so worth it. And I feel like so much more positive now than I used to. But yeah, I hope you have taken something from this and have learned something. If you did enjoy this episode and you think a friend of yours or someone that you love would really enjoy this episode, please share it with them. If you think it would resonate with them, and if you really liked it, post it on your Instagram. Please tag me. I love going through my DMs whenever I post on a Wednesday. It's King of Hearts Day. And just seeing all the love and support that you have for the pod really means a lot to me. And yeah, I love doing the pod, and I'm really grateful to you who is listening right now. So yeah, if you could leave a review as well, it would really help with the pod. I love you so much, and I hope that you are healthy, wealthy, and healing with whatever you're going through right now. I'll see you next week.
Maybe
Bye.
I won't.